Hi everyone, I hope you're well, thanks for clicking on the video. I finally got around to watching the finale of Season 1 of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and oh my god, this is everything I was hoping it would be. It ticked every single box I would hope it would tick. It was phenomenal, it was the most beautiful, chaotic, I honestly have no words for it. It was fantastic. This episode reflected every positive thing I've ever said about the show throughout the whole season. It was absolutely amazing. We got to see Rebecca do what she does best, which is carry the damn show for as long as she needs to, right? She is amazing on screen. It was the way she went out in this episode. I was so unbelievably unprepared for it. I can't even put it into words. I'm so glad she got this amount of shine in this episode because she deserved it. There's not an episode on this cast of characters that deserved it more than Rebecca, in my opinion. I was also really relieved to see that Kiwi had come to her senses towards the end of her time on the show, right? I'm so glad we got to see Kiwi's final realization and to see her have that change of heart and realize that, hey, she's made some mistakes and it's not too late. It was as near as it could possibly be to being too late, right? But she did it. She helped the guys out, and I was so glad to see that because, like I said, the loyalty I saw in this group when we first met them, I thought was real and genuine. So it's nice to see that, you know, it wasn't all imaginary. There really was some trust and faith and love between these guys, you know? If you guys can't tell, like, I'm just so high off of this episode. What is something I've said throughout every single one of my reviews? You guys already know, it's how amazing these guys are at CD Projekt Red, at dipping in and out of the high and low moments. This whole episode was a roller coaster, right? There were moments where I was damn near crying, I'm tearing up, and then seconds later, one of my favourite characters dies. A second after that, we're getting a beautiful flashback, and a second after that, you know, we're having a deep, meaningful conversation between two characters. It was amazing. And I'm so glad that they didn't ruin the relationship between Lucy and David. We got to see that reunion, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was everything I was hoping for. I'll come back to the relationship between David and Lucy momentarily. Something else I felt incredibly strongly for was the death of Faraday. This is something that I need to see sooner rather than later. And oh my god, he went out in an excruciating way. Like, I don't think that man could have got beaten up any worse if he tried. David, that is. He just put that man through absolute hell, and I enjoyed every second of it, frankly. Faraday destroyed this group of characters that I loved so much from the moment I laid eyes upon them, right? And to see that man get the justice that was deserved, I enjoyed that a lot. So that was another box that CD Projekt Red ticked in this episode that I was glad to see, because it was important that we saw that man die, right? There was no way where he escapes. He had to have died, and that's what we saw. We also got an appearance from the almighty Adam Smasher, right? And oh my goodness, he is far stronger than he was perceived to be even in the video game. I couldn't believe the way he was handling David. Like, you know, David was never really even in the fight, to be honest, you know. I know David wasn't in the best of shapes by the time he made it to Faraday and Adam Smasher, but I was very surprised at how uneven that fight was. It was not a fair fight. Adam Smasher was in control the whole time. Granted, the guy's a dirty fighter. I guess in a fight to the death there are no rules, but dear lord, Adam Smasher does not hold any punches. Any moment he gets to jump on you and to put a bullet in you, he takes that opportunity every time. And it was just chaotic to see. I couldn't believe the way he was portrayed in the show, man. Like, we're scared of him in the game, but he is terrifying in the show. Like, he is not to be messed with in any way, shape or form. This whole fight scene between David and Adam Smasher was just... it was insane. I could barely keep up with what I was watching, right? Like, every second something crazy was happening. The way Adam Smasher killed Rebecca, my jaw was to the floor, much like it has been throughout the rest of the season. I couldn't believe it. It was insane. And the way he came at David with the Sam Devistan, mental. It was just surprise after surprise. Shock, horror, it was amazing. And the way that Lucy tried to reach David at the end was so beautiful, as you can see now. Like, this is one of the handful of moments, quite frankly, that I was damn near crying watching this as a grown man. It was incredible. Like I said in the last episode that I reviewed, I thought, man, I hope these guys deliver on all of the storylines and all the boxes that need to be ticked are ticked by the end of this episode. And dear God, they did all of that and more. This is by far the best episode of the season, which says a lot considering the standard of which these episodes have been set throughout the entire season. This episode blows past all of those other episodes, and it's not even close. This was incredible, and I don't even think the words I'm saying are doing it justice. Like, listen to how excited I am now, right? I haven't been this excited off of a show in maybe ever, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm struggling to think of another show that by the time I finished it, I felt this way. I can't wait to go and watch this season through a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. I'm going to show this show to my kids. I swear to God, the day I have children, I will be sitting them down, regardless of whether or not they're interested, and I'll be telling them, you are watching this, because this is amazing. Granted, not when they're young, maybe when they're like early teens or something, I'll show them this, because as we all know, this is not PG. And this episode echoes that 100%, undeniably so. Of course, I wish David and Lucy could have went to the moon together, but the way that their relationship concluded, I'm 100% satisfied with. It was breathtaking, honestly. It was really tugging on every single heartstring I have inside of me. It was beautiful. I understand what all the hype was about now, right? I was seeing it on Twitter, like, people crying about David, and I didn't understand why. I didn't want to spoil it for myself, but now I understand why, right? Like, dear Lord, it was amazing. I'm definitely going to be doing separate videos just on the relationship between David and Lucy, because there's so much to unpack there and to dive deeply into. Like, there was just so many details. The character development and the development of their relationship throughout this season has just been so complex, and there is just so much there to discuss that 100% that video is on the way. The relationship that those two guys had, man, it's just, in my opinion, a lot of what made this show so special, and I just can't wait to talk about it more, frankly. So, to give my overall review of the episode, I think it goes without saying, it's a 5 out of 5, and it's not even debatable. This episode was fantastic. Words can't even do this show justice as to how amazing it was, you know what I mean? I'll also be uploading another video reviewing the season as a whole, so if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss it when it drops. But yeah, this episode, 5 out of 5. Incredible, the best episode of the season by far. We got payoffs to every single storyline we've seen. They ticked all the boxes and more. It was honestly the perfect ending to a series that I've loved so much, more than any series in a long time. So as you can imagine, I can't recommend this show more if I tried. I will recommend this show until my last breath, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's so good, man, it's so good. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more Cyberpunk content. That's right, I said it, more Cyberpunk content. It doesn't matter, I don't care that the season is finished. It doesn't bother me one bit. I still have so much more that we need to talk about, right? Like I said, plenty more videos on the way. If you enjoyed the episode as much as I did, please leave a comment down below. Leave your thoughts and opinions, even if you didn't enjoy the episode, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to get back to you when I have the time. And that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. I'll see you next time.